Let me tell you what I've got that I don't deserve and wouldn't have had without him. Her. Prayed for her. Realized in my young life the days of being with Joe and Hazel were over at Joe and Hazel's request. I'm ready to go to heaven. That's up to him when I go there. I am already living the abundant life, and I am so grateful to him for it. I know what the old life looked like. Don't want any more. For those of you that are extremely young, those are phones from back in the day. These actually worked back in the day, and I thought it was a great way to illustrate the three callings that have to come into your life to get you somewhere where you really want to be. This morning we are looking at investment advice, and I want to just come to you straight from the pastor's heart. When we wear a cross, or when we put forward a cross, please understand that in the 1st century AD, what's your name? Who's your daddy? If you haven't ever noticed, the gene pool determines a lot about us, right? This morning's message is entitled The Entertainer, Satan's Play. Going to school and getting a degree, figuratively speaking, going to school and getting a degree that does not factor in the wisdom of God is like laboring to climb a ladder only to find that it was leaned on the wrong wall.
To no school.
This morning, our message comes from the 7th chapter of John, and it is entitled, Ain't Never Been to No School. Now listen very carefully. Outside this church, in the mainstream media, the secular press, for anybody to say that Jesus Christ is the light of the world and all other gods and all other religions are satanic, they would drum me out of town. Luckily, there's still enough freedom left in what's left of our country that I can stand here in the pulpit in this church that we paid for and say this. Jesus Christ said, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. Do good for them that despitefully use you. Do you realize that if we were to take his counsel and obey his word, all the spitting matches would stop? Because it takes two to tango. And where there is fighting and strife and backbiting and malice and envy, there would be peace. This morning we look at how do I know I can believe what Jesus says. John chapter 8, verses 12 through 20. We have a lot of ground to cover this morning. My granddaddy was a logger with oxen in South Mississippi. I wouldn't know how to hitch up a team of oxen. The fact that your granddaddy, your uncle, your auntie, whoever it is, was a preacher or a devout Christian, that's great, has absolutely no bearing on you. Being the biological descendants of Abraham don't get you squat unless you have the faith of Abraham. Jesus said, if you believe me and you try it, you'll see that I'm right and you'll be blessed by it. This morning, we're going to be looking at John's Gospel, chapter 8. There just can't be any mystery, can there?